Hello lovers, and welcome to Cute Shit with Bree. A little video space where I talk about cute shit. And this week I'm obviously talking about the kiss heard around the motherfucking world. I'm gonna reenact it for you. Night 2, Eras Tour, Buenos Aires. We have 1, Taylor Swift. We have 2, Travis Kelce. She's clapping, everyone's cheering for her. She just finished her tour. She just finished the show. She's on a high. She doesn't give a fuck. No fucks are given. She's sprinting. She's so happy. She catches sight of Travis. He has his hands behind his back. This model will not allow me to recreate that accurately. Sprints into his arms, latches on. There's a spinning that's happening. It's all happening in slow motion. They disappear into the tent arm in arm. There's another kiss that's shared. I mean, gag. We're gagged. I'm literally starting this entire video series. I'm literally starting this entire channel on this topic because the world is gagged. Everybody is gagged. You're here because you too, for a moment, lost your breath at Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift embracing in Argentina. I mean, don't cry for me, Argentina, but maybe I did shed a couple of tears. Obviously, everyone is collectively obsessed with them. And today we are going to really look at one, Argentina, what happened. We're going to go into all the juicy details. Obviously. And I know that you fucking know what happened. And I know that you've been like scrolling TikToks about what happened, just like your girl. But it's fun to like go over it again with somebody else while you like shove Cheerios into your face for breakfast. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're going to talk about how this compares to her other lovers. Like what is different? What is the same? What's completely new and never been done before iconic, right? We're going to talk about Taylor as like a romantic being in and of itself. And like, is her behavior right now really so different? People are like, oh, they're going to get married. I don't love this chaotic and unhinged narrative. I mean, I love chaos and I love being unhinged. That's like why I'm here on this planet and also why I'm here like filming this video. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about timelines. We're going to talk about where do they go from here. We're going to talk about world peace. We're going to talk about why this is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Am I right? Okay, so let's get into it. 1, never have I ever seen in my personal lifetime a collective group so obsessed with a relationship. Obviously, I think of like when Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling were dating after The Notebook. That was big. That was big for like us normal people. That wasn't also big for like legit celebrities. Like there's actual celebrities like the girl from One Tree Hill, Hillary Burton maybe. There's like legitimate famous people tweeting about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and their love and their relationship. It's wild. There's celebrities dressing up as them. Can I name those celebrities' names? No. Because I don't actually know the names of many people, including my own friends and family sometimes. But they're famous, so the tabloids say. I mean, podcasts are doing like weekly breakdowns, like play-by-plays of their relationship. Dumois cannot get enough of them. Nobody can. And I think it's like, what is this zeitgeist? What is this like perfect moment in our culture that makes us obsessed with these two people? And I've heard it say that like, oh, she's the pop star and he is the football player. So it's like that classic rom-com trope of the famous starlet and the famous athlete and, you know, just coming together. And I'm certain that's probably part of it. However, I think it's probably something more than that. What more, you ask? I have to say it. The power of 2 hot people being together and being collectively hot in the same place is unmatched. And if we look at Taylor's past boyfriends, and I'm just going to say it, like, Taylor, do you, queen, right? Like, I want, obviously, be happy, do you. But the chaos, the carnage is out for everyone to see. And I'm going to comment on it for fun, for shits and giggles. This isn't serious. Nothing I do is serious. I don't take anyone seriously, including myself first and foremost. So let's get that out of the way right fucking now. But anyway, the carnage is out. It's two hot people together, being hot collectively. That's never not going to be great. That's why that couple in your high school was like, even the teachers were talking about them. Do you know what I mean? Collective hotness is powerful. It is gravitas. It is a magnet. I think the reason that like this is particularly powerful at the moment is like Taylor Swift is the moment. So anyone she's with is kind of pulled into that gravitas. But none of the men that she has dated, and like this is my own opinion, I don't really care if you are obsessed with Joe Alwyn and you will die in your Joe Alwyn stan and you'll like die on his grave. That's amazing for you, sweetie. But like, Joe Alwyn was never the moment and he's never going to be the moment. And I almost forget even his name as I'm speaking right now. I'm sorry, he was so boring. He didn't give me anything to work with. He didn't give anyone anything to work with. He was boring. He gave us songs, but gorgeous. I like the song, but like, is he gorgeous? To me, no. The answer, the jury, they decided unanimously no. He wasn't. So for me, Joe Alwyn was never it. I think the pull of this relationship right now is combined hotness and also combined Taylor Swift being the moment, combined with the fact that she's finally dating someone who is also not the moment, but more up to her standards. Not just in terms of look, but in terms of like gravitas and interest and charisma. That's the word I'm looking for. Charisma. Matty Healy. I've affectionately seen him dubbed on Twitter as Ratty Healy, which I love. He's like a little trash raccoon, which I am a trash raccoon, but I think I'm like affectionately a trash raccoon, where I think he is like a desperate trash possum, you know? Scavenging for that last fucking piece of cheese. Desperate. Yeah, like I think we can all collectively say, like, wasn't it? And I don't really know how much more I need to say about that. He was the guy in my philosophy class who smoked a lot of fucking cigarettes and rolled his eyes at everything I said and took nothing I said seriously, despite the fact that I made the best points in the class. Do you know what I mean? Joe, you pass him in the grocery store and he's cute. You're like, oh, that's a cutout of a moderately slim and attractive person, and you go about your day and you never think about them again. I mean, come for me in the comments if you want, but I don't think I'm wrong. And I don't think Taylor would say I'm wrong either. And so it's just like, there was never anyone who seemed like they really liked her. And it's like, no one's ever dated Taylor Swift and seemed like they've been stoked to like date Taylor Swift. And I know I'm not the first hot take to say this shit, but it's true. And I think Travis, them having both T names is also throwing me for a loop, but him like trying to shoot his shot with the friendship bracelets, like that shit is cute. That shit is rom-com. I'm a writer, okay? I read hella rom-coms. I'm obsessed. And that shit, if you wrote it in a book, I feel like some editors would be like, it's a little on the nose. You know, it's a little done before. It's a little like unbelievable. But yet, that shit's playing out before our eyes. We love to see it. So I think that's all of those things are kind of collectively like why this relationship is so like of the moment. And I am concerned for the girlies that if this ends, they're going to, hold their own funerals on, TikTok. It's going to be bad. The montages that are created are going to be desperate and unhinged. And I love to see it. So carry on. So basically, sorry for the long intro. Argentina, Eras Tour. I mean, we've been on a long hiatus. All of us were desperate for the fits, first of all. Were there going to be new fits? I know the clowning about if Reputation and Debut were going to be dropped was at an all-time high. I love when you all clown. I'm obsessed with it. Continue to clown. It amuses me. It brings me deep joy and satisfaction when there are no albums dropped and I can laugh. But we got a new Lover bodysuit. Obsessed. As soon as I saw the hot pink with the hot pink boots, I mean, swoon. And then the man jacket. I care not for the man in real life, but I think in the actual set, it really does play well. But enough of the fits. We got the fits. We're loving the fits. Eras Night 2. We get these rumors that Travis has left this charity event. He's going to show up. And then we see the photos of him looking like a hot Rory Gilmore exiting the plane in his Land's End beige sweater. Looking mid, I'll say it, but I'm excited that he's there, right? Because we're going to be getting something. I was watching this on a TikTok live stream, and I remember looking at the tent. I remember she was doing the Lover set, and she just like kept gazing to the right, and I was like, oh, I bet the tent is to the right. But then I saw the tent, and it was like this black hole with like this very awkward, tall, lone figure standing in it, and I was like, oh, that can't be Travis, can it? Because there's no one in that fucking tent but him. Lo and behold, amores, it was Travis. Slender manning it up in that tent, basically solo. I mean, Scotty Swift, my boy, did pop in, and I think Sabrina and other people were in there later, but he did really cut a lone figure in there for a while. But she was doing the Lover set, looking happy for the first time, I think, since the Eras Tour started. She's been over the Lover set. I don't need to tell you all this. Just go on TikTok, go on YouTube, look at Taylor bored with the Lover set. I mean, she has been. But she was putting her whole Essie into it, and I, for one, was loving it. I loved it. And he was looking cute. Travis had on a good fit. And I will say, like, during the actual tour, he looked pretty shy and reserved. And I think if you've watched the Chiefs at all, which, you know, your girl freaking hasn't, okay? Let's not get it twisted. But if you've watched his celebrations after the fact of figuring out him and Taylor were dating, he's not a very reserved or shy person. He's like a clown, right? He's got a lot, and not a clown in the negative way. I mean, he's just clowning. He's clowning. I should use the verb. He's clowning on the field. He's dancing. He's whatever. I don't know if I should drop this in or not. I'm not trying to like gain clout for myself, but I did. I'm just going to say, I went to college with the Kelce brothers, and I was a swimmer. So all the athletes were like in the same dorm, and we all went to the same parties. And they're very charismatic, energetic, unshy, unserious people, which is why I really like and respect them, because I'm an unshy and unserious person. I don't like when people take themselves very seriously, because I think it means that they find themselves like a cut above the company, which I don't appreciate and I don't like. And I just have never felt that way about them. And I did find it very strange to see how shy and reserved he was at the concert. Just like very like, but how nervous must it be? I mean, you can play on football every weekend, but that's like your comfort zone, right? You're like used to having the uniform on. It's like your little armor. It's your safety net. And now you're at this concert where you know every bitch is staring at your face and your dance moves. And if you know the lyrics, and if you're singing them right, and if you're making the heart hands, it's a lot. I bet he was brushing up on all his fucking lyrics so he could lip sync that shit. Because I know he's a fan and I know he knows songs, but does he know all of Folklore front to back? I saw him swaying to Evermore, so I would bet, I think he's an Evermore stan, but Folklore? I don't know. I would bet not. Anyway, we see their like cute little interactions throughout. blank space when she's like, you know, I love the players, and she like points to him, and he's like, he does this a lot, you know, that like athlete bro, like, yeah. And I've seen him throw up the heart hands a couple times. I mean, Scott Swift is also with him, and Scott Swift has the Chiefs lanyard on. Gag, dying. I feel like Scott Swift, depending on how in the culture you are, he's a pretty low-key dude. He's not getting super high or super low. He's pretty, you know, pretty mid in all ways. And he seemed like he was riding high. He seemed like this may or may not have been one of the first dudes that he's really enjoyed. And I know in All Too Well, 10-minute version, Taylor says, you know, you who charmed my dad with self-effacing jokes. And it's like, okay, maybe he did get along with Jake Gyllenhaal for a time. A very fucking short time. But I feel like, what could Scott and Maddie Healy talk about? My guess is fucking zero overlap. I'm guessing they avoid each other like the plague. I'm guessing Taylor also didn't want them to be in the same vicinity in any way, shape, or form. Joe, I'm guessing he's a nice, polite British boy, but like, what are they talking about? Taylor, I'm guessing. Probably Taylor 98% of the time. And given that Scott spends 98% of his life at these Eras Tour, he's probably a little bit over it. He probably wants to talk about, you know, something else, like sports. And I think he was loving it. As a dad, I think he gave his stamp of approval. Probably night one, day one. He was just like, Taylor, my girl, don't drop this ball. Football reference. Hey. So I'm full Scott Swift stamp of approval, which leads me to the other video that is of high import when she changed the lyrics to
is the guy on the Chiefs coming to
iconic, first of all. Absolutely iconic. I mean, it's a seamless change in terms of melodically and lyrically. Like, you can't really tell the difference. And I think listening to it on the live the first time, I was like, a bitch didn't. You go back and you're like, a bitch did and would do again. She was literally like, Karma is the guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to me. And Scott's immediately like, with Travis in the VIP tent, he like puts his hands on me. He's like, she's talking about you. And Travis is like, and then he like puts his head in his hands and he gets super red and he's like, and then he's like, yeah, okay. So he obviously did not know that was happening, had zero time to rehearse. Taylor's being messy as fuck on main. And he's like, yes. So it's so funny to me that reporters are like hounding him about, like, are you in love? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like trying to play it so covert and so private. And Taylor's like, Karma is the guy on the Chiefs. I'm surprised she just didn't have like a full picture of him somewhere on stage, you know, didn't just start like having like on the red, like, I love Travis Kelce. I don't know. I just think it's funny how like covert and low-key he's trying to play it, and then she just comes out and she's like, I fucking love this man. I don't give a fuck who knows. Which is like why it's endearing, and I think we love it, is because of that extreme vulnerability and relatability of someone who's in love and just doesn't care who knows it, right? Which of course brings us to the end, which I think is hilarious with his like cute little Chiefs lanyard. He's like, get out there. And then he goes and waits like in the darker hidden part of the tunnel. And then Taylor in her cute little Midnight Rain outfit, she is like waving to the crowd, super happy. And then your girl does some truly unhinged and chaotic shit. And she spots Travis. And she does her kind of like dinosaur T-Rex in heels run for a good, I mean, I'm not a football player, but I would say a 30-yard run, maybe more, maybe less. And he's just kind of standing there with his hands behind his back, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There's like a million people watching. They're obviously all filming us with like the highest def cameras possible. all of a sudden, he just sees her dropping into her T-Rex sprint where she's like, I'm coming. He's like, oh, fuck, I guess it's going down. And, I mean, she must be on a high, right? Like, the show's over. She's playing to enormous crowds in Buenos Aires. Like, that stadium is huge. People are pumped. They're saying ole, ole, ole all night long. Her boyfriend just flew all the way from the US. Her dad's in the Chiefs land. She's like, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's make out with some hotties. And he's a tall tree. He's a tall drink of water. He's a tall redwood, and she's ready to climb. You know what I'm saying? So she jumps into his arms. As we recreated, right? And then they immediately lock lips. They're spinning around. It is so romantic. It's like a rom-com, but better. Because rom-coms are staged and fake and ultimately disappointing. But this is real and cute and potentially also ultimately disappointing. But it's not right now. And then they kind of like loop arms, and then from different camera angles you can see that like they give each other another kiss as they're heading to the tent. It's just so cute. I don't know what to say. It's just so cute. Like, I don't know. It's messy. It's messy on Maine. I don't remember seeing Taylor Swift ever T-Rex run into someone's arms and make out with them. I don't think she ever really displays that level of PDA. Like, I was thinking about it. I remember in the Miss Americana documentary, which is a whole nother thing that I could make a whole nother video about. She like ran into Joe's arms in a very similar T-Rexy kind of way. But they don't make out, right? And she knows all the shit's on camera in both instances. There's no way she like gets complete amnesia in Argentina and it's like, oh, this isn't on camera. No, your girl knows in both cases. And in the Miss Americana one, I mean, Joe has his hat on, it's very low, like it's very low key, and she like runs into his arms, and I'm pretty sure they just hug. It looks honestly, and I thought this at the time as well, very sibling-ish. Like how I might hug a brother who just came back from war, who I haven't seen in a while. Very sibling adjacent. This was not sibling. I would never climb my brother like that. But yeah, it made me think about like past lovers. And I was like, as much as I think people want this Taylor Travis thing to feel like very different, and in the kissing PDA way, maybe it is, like in this particular public instance, it is. But like if we look back through her past loves, like Taylor's a radical, I'm not going to say a hopeless romantic. That's probably accurate to say if I had said it, but like a radical romantic. Like she's like all in all the time. Can't relate personally. I am an avoidant attachment, and I can never imagine being this messy on Maine as she is. Like if we do a little retrospective, like remember Calvin Harris, like she did that crazy Instagram photo shoot, I think when they had been together for a year and they went on vacation. I mean, obviously those Instagrams have been wiped since the Reputation wiping, but you can still find them online, where they went to the beach and she like kissed him on the cheek and they're in swimsuits and there's like a heart in the sand with like AS and TS or something. It's a lot, especially given that I don't even think they liked each other very much at this time, and this was probably like a desperate last attempt to like save whatever semblance of me, whatever that was. Then we have the Hiddle Swift, which was the messiest on Maine and potentially most desperate on Maine she's ever been, right? That was obviously a lot of bad things were being said about her. The more that she leaned into the relationship, potentially the less people were looking at other things. But the I love TS, 4th of July, whatever you want to call that, that was wild. Okay. So when I say messy on Maine and when I say she's a radical romantic, this is what I mean. It's like, this is a lot. It's not like she hasn't been publicly very in it with people before. I mean, her and Tom Hiddleston were like all over the place. She met his mom days into knowing him, I would say. Wild behavior, chaotic behavior, unhinged behavior I fully support. Her and Maddie Healy, the whole Eras Tour on stage love declaration, where at one of his concerts he was like, this, like, you know who this song is about, like, I wrote this about you, you know who you are, I love you. He like mouths it on stage, and then she mouths basically the exact same words during the one, I think it is. Chaotic, unhinged, and iconic when you think about it. Like, she parades her love around, even if she's not like explicitly verbalizing it in an interview or podcast or whatever else. But this is very similar behavior. I mean, I know everyone wants to be like, this is so different, but it's like she's inviting all the wags over to the New York casita. Her and B. Mahomes have a handshake that they do at the Chiefs games. I mean, she's going to all the Chiefs games. She hasn't devised like she's not wearing his jersey yet, which I think is a very positive step from somebody who's an avoidant attachment. Like, okay, we're calming it down a little bit. We are telling everyone that Karma is the guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to me. So it's like, we're not really pumping the brakes that much. But she's doing the most. But she's not saying the most, but she's doing the most. She's letting everybody know. And I forgot to mention this during the Argentina Eras Tour. During the surprise songs, she did sing, during night one, she sang Labyrinth, which is obviously, I'm falling in love again. We love a messy bitch. She's falling in love again, which is also so sweet and accurate. Because I feel like a lot of the surprise songs early on were like kind of angry, kind of sad, kind of like, oh, did I just let the love of my life go? And now it's like, no bitch. Bye. Joe what? Joe who? Ratty what? Never heard of it. Forgot he existed. I forgot that you existed, sorry. And for night two, she sang an Endgame on the piano to Travis Kelce, essentially. And I heard like during that part, the friendship or the bracelets that everybody wears were glowing like gold and red, which is obviously the Chiefs colors. So all I'm saying is this kind of radical romanticism and excitement from Taylor is not new. So we might have to slow our roll, everybody, on getting so excited that Travis is Endgame, despite the fact that she's literally singing it because she did, in fact, have that on a different album where technically that was when her London boy was Endgame, right? So people have been Endgame before, but am I still ridiculously excited about this particular pairing? Obviously, I'm not making a 30+ minute video because I'm not excited. This is cute shit with Brie that I'm excited about, in parentheses behind it. But the other thing was like, what is really the timeline of this? Like, it all just seems like this is soon, right? Because the first public thing we really saw of them was, I believe, September 24th when she went to the Chiefs game. And I'm like, September 24th, October 24th, and it's now November, I think 11th when they were at the concert. So that's not even 2 months. Again, as an avoidant, I could never be this messy and iconic on main. However, respect. Respect where respect is due. Hat off. I feel like if we go through the timeline, like when do we think they start dating? I would love to know your opinions. Your realistic opinions. Don't be unhinged. Don't be like, oh, it was a year ago when they did that Ticketmaster ad on Jason and Travis's podcast, because I do not believe that. I mean, I think that's way too far. Because she was in love with Ratty Healy at the beginning. I mean, just months before. Because Taylor performed at the 1975 concert in January. I need to check my dates for this. I'm an investigative journalist, okay? April 8th is when people confirmed that Taylor and Joe had broken up. But obviously, this has kind of happened a while before. And you kind of listen to Midnights, and it's hard to listen to some of those songs and be like, they weren't in a state of potentially breaking up. Also, as someone who's in a relationship and has been in human relationships before, I think long-term relationships don't end with like a single axe swing. I mean, maybe if your partner axe murdered somebody, that would be a very quick way to end the relationship. However, I think it's like death by a thousand cuts, right? Things happen over time. So I think there was probably unhappiness or discontentment in a lot of different areas for them, probably over time. So when did the relationship actually end? Probably we can assume a lot sooner than April 8th, right? For Joe and Taylor. Then when does ratty Healy show up? He shows up in May 2023 at the Eras Tour in Nashville, a sacred Swiftie space. Can't be having these raccoons running in such a sacred space, but no one asked me. No one ever asked me. And then on May 11th, Taylor and Maddie are holding hands in New York. May 13th, Maddie attends the Eras concert with Taylor Swift's dad, which I'm sure was an absolute nightmare for both of them. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. Actually, not really, because I'm sure the conversation was one sentence and then complete silence for the rest of the concert. May 15th, Taylor and Maddie are spotted leaving a studio together, and June 5th, People is reporting that they have broken up. Obviously, there was a lot of public pressure for them to break up, and a lot of Swifties were losing their GD minds about, like, he's so racist, he's so inappropriate, and obviously he was all of those things. And now none of them give a fuck about it anymore. They're like, I'm canceling Taylor, and now no one gives a fuck. I'm just like, if you're gonna be super public about your opinions on every form of social media and cancel everybody, just fucking stick with it or shut the fuck up. Am I wrong? Anyhow, continuing on. July 2023, Kelce, Travis discusses how he shot his shot with Taylor and was disappointed. Quoting, I was disappointed that she doesn't talk before or after her shows because she has to save her voice for the 44 songs she has to sing. So I was a little butthurt. I didn't get to hand her one of the bracelets I made for her. That does sound like the football player of yore. If you're up on Taylor Swift concerts, there are these friendship bracelets, and I received a bunch of them being there, but I wanted to give one to Taylor Swift with my number on it. We stan an honest king. Are they the most put together words I've ever heard? No, but a sequoia tree does not need to speak like Hemingway, right? So that was July 2023. Her and Ratty Healy break up probably around May, June, due to probably having nothing really in common, Maddie being ratty, and giant amounts of the public hating that relationship, despite Taylor in a concert being like, I'm the happiest I've ever been. Unhinged, crazy behavior from her. So somewhere between September 24th, where she goes to the game, and July 2023, something's going down. My guess is Taylor heard about this, or maybe they had met before. Somehow he gets his number to her, or he gets her number from someone. They're both famous. There's connections happening. And I'm guessing he shoots her a text. So my thought is they probably texted back and forth. As the people do, they probably met up a few times. On September 12th, the Messenger reported that Swift and Kelce had been spending time together, and that they'd been quietly hanging out, and that she saw him when she was in New York City a few weeks ago. And then on September 14th, Jason Kelce, Travis's older brother, aka the messiest bee in the entire world, I love it. Jason Kelce is all of us. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I'm here to play football. I'm like an amazing football player. I have a great family. My brother is a chaotic little shit, and I really don't give a shit. You know? And I'm here for that energy always. But he said in a post-game interview that he's like, on September 14th, he said, the rumors, I can't comment. I just know Travis is having fun. We'll see what happens with whoever he ends up with. And then Travis that same day dodged questions about his personal life and who he was dating. And that was September 14th. So for Travis to be so evasive and for Jason to actually have a gag order on him, probably something was already happening. Like the Messenger said, they probably met up. They'd probably been texting a little bit. And then, as we say, the rest on September 24th, game day, baby, history. And we get multiple games, we get a Halloween party, we get a lot of things happening. It's a lot. I am not so radically invested that I'm like, get married and have babies, because I find that narrative harmful and too much. I feel like as a society, we just always want women to go to the next step. We're like, oh, you're in love, so now get married. As soon as they're married, we like want them to have children. It's like, just enjoy where you're at. You don't need to be married. You can just be happy. Is that too much for today's society? But I think apparently. But anyway, I love the relationship. I love them. I just am not on the like marriage babies, whatever train. So maximum timelines. They've been dating like since maybe early September, late August, making this very fresh, like 3-month situation. Again, karma is the guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to me. What can we say? Nothing that she hasn't said herself, ladies and gentlemen. So what now? What happens now? Do they spend Christmas together? Probably. I'm thinking something cute, something family oriented. She does get a break from her tour, and I'm not really sure how the football works, despite being a general fan and an athlete and someone who's not an idiot and could look it up if they wanted to. I just don't want to, right? But I'm assuming they'll do something together for Christmas if they're still together. The Super Bowl. Will he make it to the Super Bowl? It's looking good. We won't really know, though. I'm sure this is extra motivation. You know, all eyes are truly on him at the moment. But if he does make it to the Super Bowl, it's on Saturday, February 10th. She has a show in Tokyo she has a show in Tokyo on Saturday, February 10th. He is playing the Super Bowl in Nevada on February 11th. If he makes it to the Super Bowl, that is. And then she also has to be in Australia on February 16th. So let's get this straight. Taylor in Tokyo on the 10th. Super Bowl, Nevada, the 11th. Taylor needs to be back in Australia on February 16th. So it's like she's already kind of on that side of the world. It'd be pretty wild to go from all the way to Tokyo to Nevada for one day, basically 2 days at max, and then all the way back for like a rehearsal and settling in Australia. But our girl's wild. We've seen it time and time again. It just depends on how unhinged and how much carnage and chaos and how many heart attacks she wants to cause like that particular day. And also, if they make it to the Super Bowl, they might not even make it, which would be devastating and heartbreaking to me purely for the content reasons. No offense to the Chiefs. I grew up around Chicago, so Bears all the way, and Bears will never make it to the Super Bowl again. I think we've all established that. But realistically, this bitch's tour isn't over until I'm pretty sure like December 2024. And she keeps extending this shit. I feel like she might do this tour like legit the rest of her life. She might take this tour to fucking Mars. By the time it's done, Elon will have built his fucking space elevator. She'll be taking this shit to space. The aliens will be singing along to Midnight Rain. I'm telling you what, she will never end this shit. Godspeed and bless her. I'm living for the outfits. I'm living for the jewels. I'm living for all the secret songs, the surprise songs. It can go on and on as far as I'm concerned. However, it's not looking great for a relationship. But maybe it is looking great, because if anything can make the heart grow fonder, it's what? Money, you said? My girls. My fucking girls. No, distance, bitches. Distance. Because how do you not get sick of each other? Not seeing each other all the time. That's fucking right. She had too much closeness with these other hoes. There was too much togetherness. What she needed was, in fact, separation. So anyway, I'm Brie. I like to talk about cute shit, and I'm here for this particular zeitgeist of a moment of cute shit. I cannot wait to see what happens next. Let me know what you think is going to happen next. What messy thing will Taylor do in response? I mean, we might not see them again together for many months, so we're going to be living off absolute surprise songs and just Travis gazing longingly up into the clouds after he scores a touchdown for our Lord and Savior, T. Swift Christ. All right. So I'll catch you guys all later.